Because guess what? The Most High God sees black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men as his children.
That's right.
As men that mean something. Men that are supposed to be righteous and honorable men. Men that you should talk about and lift up because we are God's chosen people. A very rich nation. Not to be looked upon as if we are not and mean nothing in this earth, as they call us niggas and wetbacks and spicks. As if we mean nothing, when in all actuality, we are God's chosen people. And soon they're going to find that out. Soon they're going to find out who God is really with. Now we all know about the story of David and Goliath, right? When he slew Goliath in the Philistine army, right? We all understand that. We all understand that in that scripture, you know what he said? He said, after I take you out and the entire Philistine army, you're going to understand that the Lord is with the nation of Israel. That the Lord is with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That he is not with anyone else. And that's what you must know, black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man. That the way that we defeat our oppressors is with God. That's how we've been doing it from time and time again. Even in times of Egypt and every captivity, the Lord has saved us. Not guns and weapons. Because this war is spiritual and not carnal. We're going to need the Most High God. And then our oppressors will look at us and say, we can never defeat blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians because they have God on their side. No amount of guns, no amount of technology and bombs and warfare and how much we tear them down, they're just so strong to believe in their God. And God is going to fight for us. Read that last verse.
Verse 7. And plucked it out of his bosom, and behold, it was turned again as his other flesh.
Now give me the book of Romans chapter 1 and verse 25. Because in the scriptures, it's going to ask a question, right? And it answers the question. Now, we must know this. Well, who changed the truth of God into a lie? Last time I checked, it wasn't blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And based on history, Christianity is a man-made religion that was made by the so-called white man, the so-called Edomite, which is his biblical nationality in the scriptures. They made up Christianity and Roman Catholicism. They made up these religions. And all the other oppressors made up their own religions. Why did they make these religions? You gotta ask yourself that. Well, simply because based on history, they've never had a God. So since they have these kingdoms and they dwell in these kingdoms and they get to do anything that they want, they need something to worship. They need to feel like that they're worshiping a higher power in their brains. So then what do? They sanction Caesar Borgia as their God. Then they say that the Pope is their God in Roman Catholicism. And then you have the Buddhists and the Hinduism. They make their own gods because they don't have a true living God. Only blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have a true living God. And they are mad about it. They are jealous about it because they have nobody they can go and pray to and answer their prayers. Why? Because God does not love everyone. God only loves blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And if he says, hey, serve me, you should take that and hold that dear to your heart and serve him with all your might. You do it with everything else on the face of the earth. You want to go into the NBA and the MLB, you want to be the best rapper, you want to be the best NASCAR driver, and you put your all into it, you put your soul into it. Right. You make sure you got the best videos, the best clothes, the best jewelry. But when it comes to God, you want to turn the other cheek. When he's the same person that can take your body and soul, and yet you're worried about the oppressors that can just take your body. Last time I checked, you ought to serve God rather than men. Right. That's what you ought to do. Because God says that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians ought to get along and love one another. Right. That's what the Most High God says. Like it says in Zephaniah 2:1. Gather yourselves together. You're asking yourselves, what time are we in now? This is the end times. This is the times where all these other nations are going to come together. You're at your jobs. You're at your corporate jobs making your good money. You're at your IT jobs at home working from home. And you got your little white friends and your Asian friends and your Middle Eastern friends. And you think that they're your friends. When it comes down to it and everything hits the fan, when them bombs drop, when them AR-15s kick out, they're going to go back to their own people. They're going to say, to hell with you, man. And they're going to look at you as if they always look at you from when they first met you.
Right.
As somebody in a low state, as somebody that does not mean anything. Last time I checked, Christ was homeless. And he was the greatest man to ever walk the face of this earth. And need I remind you, he was a black man and not a white man.
That's right.
He was a Negro from the land of Nazareth.
Right.
And they said, what good shall come out of Nazareth? Well, you take that black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man and understand this, that if Christ was homeless and he was the greatest man to ever walk the face of this earth, well, God doggone, man, you should be proud to say you're a part of a nation that has great people. The greatest people that ever trod the face of the earth. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. The people that helped build this country are for our blood, sweat, and tears. And in return, we get nothing. Give me Romans 1:25. Go ahead and read it.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie?
Who changed the truth of God into a lie? Keep reading.
And worship and serve the creature more than the creator.
And worship and serve the creature more than the creator. The creature meaning yourself. So who changed the truth of God into a lie? I'll tell you who did. The so-called white man, the so-called Middle Eastern, the so-called Asian, the so-called Arab. They changed the truth of God into a lie and made you serve yourself more than you do the creator. Because in the scriptures it says, there shall be no other God before me. But what did the oppressors do in the times of slavery and before then? They created religion. They created Christianity, Roman Catholicism, and all these other religions. Why? Because all those religions allow you to serve the creature more than the creator. Allow you to serve yourself more than the creator. When you ought to be serving God and not yourself. That's what God says. That's what God commands us to do. Read it again from the top.
Verse 25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the creator.
Give me Songs of Solomon 1 and 5. Let me tell you something, black man. Here in America, they beat us down to the core. They beat us down all the way to the ground as if we're stubble. But all the things that these oppressors say to us and make us feel bad for, the Most High God rejoices in it. They always say, well, we wearing the grills and the chains and we bumping the music. We got our beards, we wearing the shades and we look fly. The Most High God rejoices in that. Right. The Most High God said that is of him. That is righteous. You can do that. But here in America, when they see us walking around with our beards and not clean shaven, and we got grills in our mouths and chains, they say those are thugs. They coming to rob me.
All jokes aside, you know how niggas be like, I'm this and that for life, this and that for life.
You don't receive her what? Her planet! In the ISUPK, we ain't worried about the coronavirus. How many of us do you see with masks on? Right! How many of us do you see out here afraid with gloves on?
140 for the rebel.
The world turned its back on me. I'm a cripple. We got soldiers, he got soldiers, but I got
Don't
different
sit here and talk shit like what's gonna pop out, what's
Don't
gonna do this. If you gonna cross the line,
can't
cross
forgive
the fucking
us.
line.
Remain
Otherwise, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
That's it. Right.
Please forgive me for the time that I did. If rank is given, have your respect to your apprentice.
Nosotros somos una nación. Nosotros somos la misma gente. Nosotros.
El mundo sepa que nuestros hermanos negros y hermanos moranos ya no estarán separados, pero se unirán para hacer grandes cosas por todas las 12 tribus peredas de Israel. Juan Yasha'al.